Welcome to behavior data. It's vital to measure and record behavior if we want to use the data to affect change. We use data to establish a baseline, determine patterns, answering the questions when and where, how often, how long, how much, how intense, with whom, and as a result of what. We also use data to provide information to students, staff, and family. Most importantly, we use data to compare behavior, pre- and post-intervention, to find out if our interventions are working. We can also use data to figure out what a student is communicating and to determine a functionally equivalent replacement behavior, or FERB. Behavior serves a function. It's either used to get or obtain something, or it's used to protest, avoid, or escape something. Data is only data if we use it to analyze and interpret. We need to use data to make programming decisions for a student. It's not enough to just collect a bunch of numbers. The process of data collection begins when we define the target behavior operationally. Then we have to choose the data collection system, collect our data, continuously graph and analyze the data, and then make decisions based on our charted data. There are some different types of data collection that work best with different kinds of behaviors. The most common types of data collection are frequency or event, duration, interval, partial and whole, latency, and ABC recording, antecedent behavior and consequence. Frequency or event recording is used when it's important to know the number of times a behavior occurs, and it should be used for behaviors that are short, like raising a hand, rather than long, like reading. The target behavior should have a definite start and end, and not occur too often in the set interval. Some event recording tips are to use tally marks on a piece of masking tape attached to your clothing, or use tally marks on a post-it note. Transfer pennies from one pocket to another, or use a golf counter. The key is to record the number inobtrusively over a set period of time to determine the frequency. Use duration recording when it's important to know how long a behavior occurs. That will record the number of times or percent of time a behavior occurs during a set time period and can be used with behaviors that occur often. Measure from the start of the behavior until it stops. And a stopwatch or a clock with seconds is the best recording tool for duration recording. Interval recording is used to measure the behavior, or the lack of a behavior, at a specific timed interval, for example, every 5 minutes. Partial interval recording measures simply if the behavior was present or absent during the interval period, and it's used when the goal is to reduce the behavior. Whole interval recording measures only if the behavior was present throughout the entire interval, and it's used when the goal is to increase the behavior. Latency recording measures the length of time elapsed between the onset of a stimulus and the behavior, and it's typically used when we want to decrease the time it takes a student to respond to instruction or something similar. It's often measured using a stopwatch. The last method is the ABC recording. This is a little more difficult to do while you're teaching, so is usually done during direct observation and often in a narrative form on an ABC chart. The operationally defined behavior is recorded along with the antecedent, the stimulus that triggered the behavior, and the consequence, the result of the behavior. Recording tips. Be sure that you have clearly defined the behavior, and be sure that your recording method suits the behavior. Be sure to record during a set time period. 10 or 20 minutes is sufficient. You don't need to be collecting data all day. Calculate your averages and plot the results over time in order to track the behavior and the effect of your interventions.